Donald Trump had another one of these unexplained episodes where, with no communication as to the why, he goes missing for days, even at key times for the United States. Now, the last time that this happened was days and days on end. It's happening again. The last time that Donald Trump was seen before yesterday's Navy speech disaster was Tuesday, September 30th, for that military general's speech with Pete Hegseth, which went really poorly. As you might recall, during that speech, Donald Trump's eyes at certain points were pointing in opposite directions. He slurred his way through the entire speech. And I realized that after that speech, Trump briefly spoke with reporters, and then he was not seen again Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, until he showed up almost an hour late for a speech to Navy service members in Virginia. What is going on here? This is not normal. And because of the lack of transparency from this administration, we are once again left to speculate. Why is a guy so starved for attention, who's usually desperate to be in the middle of any political controversy, why is he gone for days again? By the way, when he showed back up to the speech with the Navy, he was not exactly firing on all cylinders. The other really odd thing that took place during Donald Trump's absence is that J.D. Vance was unusually active and visible. You might recall that J.D. Vance did an interview on Fox News during which he told a lot of different lies. And then at roughly the same time, J.D. Vance, jumped into Caroline Leavitt's White House press briefing, which sometimes presidents or vice presidents do. But imagine for a moment if during an unexplained Biden absence, which, by the way, he didn't really have, but during an unexplained Biden absence, imagine if Kamala Harris showed up to press briefings. It would have been sharks swarming like a feeding frenzy when the chum hits the water. Where's Biden? What's the White House hiding? Would have been apoplectic media coverage. And Donald Trump is, again, for the second time in 2 months, missing for days. And right-wing media has no curiosity. They say nothing. Even at that speech, Donald Trump showed up almost an hour late. He sounded terrible. He looked terrible. Listen to this and listen to, like, what does he even say in the middle of this clip?
But 1 year ago, our country was dead. We had a dead country. People say, sir, you shouldn't say that. It's too straight to withdraw.
People say, sir, you shouldn't say that. It's too struts to withdraw. What?
We had a dead country, and today we have the hottest country anywhere in the world by far. 1 year, think of it. 1 year ago, we were dead.
This guy isn't doing well. He was not active during a critical week with the government shutdown. He likes to play president in the Oval Office, and sometimes multiple times a day. He'll talk to reporters in the Oval Office, and then he'll hand people some tchotchkes in some kind of meaningless ceremony. And then he'll bring in RFK to talk about how autism, as he calls it, is caused by Tylenol or whatever. And all of a sudden he's quiet. And so we are left to ask the same questions we asked last time. Is he in hiding because of some kind of medical issue that he's having? Are his handlers saying, stay off camera for this point of time in time? And then after 4 days of no appearances, he's an hour late and delivers a terrible speech. This guy is not fit to be president. And the questions have never been applied equally or fairly to Trump as from other presidents. Now, a couple of you wrote to me over the weekend, and you said, I'm paraphrasing, but you said something along the lines of, is Jake Tapper ready to now do a book on what's going on with Trump? Because he breathlessly did the Biden book, and where is he on the Trump? So here's my view on that. Has there been an irresponsible lack of coverage about Donald Trump's physical and mental health? Of course. Of course. Do I have problems with some of the sort of context of Jake Tapper's book about Joe Biden? Yes. And when Jake Tapper was on the show, I asked him about it. Did I also find that most of the substance of Jake Tapper's book seems accurate and corroborated elsewhere? Yeah, most of it. So I think we have to be really careful. It can both be true. Both things can be true. That the contents of Jake Tapper's book are basically accurate and corroborated, but that the decision to write that book, but to basically pay no mind to Donald Trump's obvious physical and cognitive decline, represents a choice and a partial perspective on this issue. Both can be true. I can't say that as I read Jake Tapper's book and I looked at it very closely, I can't say that there's much in there where it's like, this is completely unbelievable, either because it's completely uncorroborated or it seems out of character. No, most of the stuff in Jake Tapper's book, I believe, is probably right. Some of the window dressing and the sort of language and framing maybe is meant for dramatic purpose, sure. But I think for the most part, the book is not an inaccurate book. But the timing and the choice of writing that book while devoting almost no coverage to Donald Trump's physical and cognitive decline, I have a real problem with that. So where was Trump during this 4-day period that he resurfaced from late and slurring and swollen? I have absolutely no idea. Many of us know all too well about the sticking, rubbing, and chafing that you can get with traditional underwear. Our sponsor, Sheath Underwear, have created unique boxer briefs with multiple ergonomic compartments in the front, which prevents skin on skin, and that means everything stays separate, comfortable, dry, and cool. You will have a boost of confidence when you're out and about. I've known so many people who were skeptical about those compartments, friends who say, I heard that ad for Sheath, what about those compartments? And then they try it, and then they're amazed at the comfort and breathability when they finally try it. You will thank yourself. Plus, Sheath has brand new materials like bamboo and mesh for even more cooling comfort. They will be the most comfortable pair of boxer briefs you ever put on. No more sweatiness and chafing and readjusting, especially at the gym. It's a lifesaver. Give Sheath Underwear a shot. I've had a great experience. I think you will too. Head over to sheathunderwear.com/Pakman and get 20% off with code Pakman. The link is in the description.